Let's talk about the 5-step method. So we've got two 5-step methods really. One's a 4-step method, and then sometimes you do a 5th step, and that's the one with the derivative, right? And we're trying to graph the equation. Then there's factoring. Now, by now you're supposed to know factoring because, of course, in algebra you learned it. However, most of you forget it, or most of you were never taught it. So those are the notes, and they're online. So, just so you know, I'm recording all the notes. They'll be online. If you're in class, they'll be online. If they're out of class, they'll be online. Okay? Alright. What they want you to do is factor. So you're going to have to know how to factor again. Okay? So, I would be taking notes. It's hard to take notes with your notebook not open, Dante. Okay? To learn how to factor again, I'm going to show you a 3-step method, 4-step method, 5-step method. Okay? This is a huge thing. I created it, so the only place you're going to see it is me. Alright? So look online. The first step to factoring, okay, is what I call the GCF. Greatest common factor. Okay? Your second step, okay, is going to be parentheses. Star variable. Okay? And I'll explain that as we go along. Your third step is signs. Okay? And I'll explain that as we go along. Your fourth step is product and sum. Okay? Product and sum. And your fifth step. I should have 5 colors. Why don't I? Oh.
Product and what?
Sum. Product and sum. So pi and sigma. Okay? Capital pi, capital sigma. Okay? Later on in calculus, you'll be using those as a series. A product series, summation series.
In middle school, we had pods.
Oh, yeah?
Like as an alpha in 6th grade.
So now we've got number 5, which is star cleanup. Okay? Alright. I try to make this real simple. First of all, we start with the quadratic. Okay? The quadratic has to be equal to 0 for, well, it doesn't have to be equal to 0 first. For us to solve it, it has to be equal to 0. For us to factor it, it just needs to be a quadratic. X squared, x, no x. Right? Remember, the quadratic is ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay? So, this is the quadratic. Okay? And the way I deal with this is if there's nothing out front, then there's no GCF. Okay? There's no GCF. If there's no star, then there's no GCF. So let's look at that. X squared plus 11x plus 24. The star is this first coefficient. If there's no star, then there's no GCF. Unless there's an extra letter in here that I can pull out. Okay? So, there's no GCF, there's no star cleanup. No star implies no star cleanup. That means it takes this out and this out. And it becomes what I call a 3-step problem. The easy ones. Okay? So now I just have to worry about my variable, x, and my parentheses. 2 parentheses, 1x here and 1x here. Because 2 x's, x times x is x squared. Okay? So all you do is you take your variables, split them up. That's it. That's all you do. Take your print, take your variables, split them up. Make your two parentheses. Everyone can do that, right? Again, Dante, hard to take notes with your notebook not open. Your mom's wondering why you're not passing this class. That is one of the reasons.
This is the one time that I actually haven't had my journal open.
Well, I've been asking you 3 times now, so try to get it open. Okay, I'm telling you this because this is hard. And you shutting down isn't an excuse. Later on, you tell me, oh, I couldn't help you, I couldn't help. Well, you're not helping yourself. Open your book and let's get it going. All right, we're going to bring this sign down every time. Every time I bring the first sign down. Every single time. Okay? That's part of the signs. Then I look at this one, and it tells me one of 2 things. If this is positive, then these 2 signs, they're the same. If this is negative, then these 2 signs, they're different. Okay? Same sum, same sum. This is a sum, they're the same. If this is a difference, then they are different. It's that simple. If these are the same, then this has to be plus. Does that make sense? Right? Okay? And that's it. That's 3 steps right there.
And that's based off the second sign? The second sign is
the first sign. Based off the second sign tells me if these are the same or different. Okay? Now, so I might want to circle. Hey, that's how I figured that out. Okay? Now, I change colors again. Okay? Colors are going to be huge in here. Okay? Product and sum. The product, okay, is the number of the first coefficient times the second coefficient. So 1 times 24. Well, that's just 24. Okay? Product times 1 times 24. Okay? The sum is the middle number. Okay? 11. Okay? So, what I'm going to do here is I got to get 2 numbers that multiply to be 24. But they, in the second sign, tells me what they're doing here. If this is a minus, they're going to subtract to be 11. And if this is a plus, they're going to add to be 11. So 2 numbers that multiply to be 24. So just think of any 2 numbers, right? And it's always big number first. Big number first. So 6 and 2 would be 2 and 6, right? And the 6 and 2, it would be 6 and 2. With 6 and 2, would that add up to be 11? No. So that doesn't work.
8 and 3.
Okay? 8 and 3. Does that multiply to be 24?
Uh-huh.
Does it add to be 11?
Yep.
Then it's 8 and 3. And it's that simple. That's factoring. Now, if I take these factors and I set each factor equal to 0, okay, then I get x is equal to -8 and x is equal to -3. 2 answers that x is equal to. And this is instead of doing the quadratic formula. Okay? 3-step method in this case because there's nothing in front. And that will be